the small moments that happen at conferences like this will absolutely change your life if you go into it with an open mind and an open heart, and then take action on the emotions that you feel.
Welcome to the Idaho Real Estate Investor Show, where we bring strategies and knowledge that will help you succeed in Idaho's ever-changing real estate market. I'm Jonna Weber. I'm an Idaho investor, realtor, and entrepreneur. I've been successfully investing for over 2 decades and helping countless others do the same. We'll bring you real stories from successful investors, expert advice, and insights to help you build generational wealth through the power of real estate. Whether you're just getting started or well on your way, let's jump in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Idaho Real Estate Investors Show. I'm Jonna, and I am here with my friends Cari and Senate this morning. I'm going to give you a little insight of who they are, and then we're going to dive into all the things. This is going to be so great. You guys are going to want to listen to every word. Today, we wanted Senate and Cari to get together with us and really unpack not only what they're doing, but some things that we are working on together that we cannot wait to share with you. Senate's a real estate investor. He's built an awesome community and multifamily portfolio, and Cari's a powerhouse event coordinator and entrepreneur, and she is a real brainiac behind the Idaho Summit, and we're going to talk about that. And together they're building community, they're creating opportunities, and they're really helping others grow. We're going to talk about investing, we're going to talk about events, and give you a sneak peek into something that we're working on together. More to come on that. So without further ado, Senate and Cari, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us, John. I really appreciate being here.
My pleasure. And it's been so much fun getting to know you all over the last year as we've had discussions about ways that we could possibly work together and synergy that I know that we feel. And I think one thing that both of us, or all three of us, I should say, feel is a passion for our communities, correct?
Oh, absolutely. My goal is always to give back to the community that has given so much to me.
I can tell that, and I see it oozing from I saw it on stage. We'll talk about that, Cari, last week. And I love that you guys are both originally from Twin Falls. Is that correct?
I'm close enough.
Close enough.
I was a toddler.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same with Idaho, but I love that I was in Twin Falls with you last week, and you are just like such a part of the fabric of that community. And you've got something really special going on over there. I had a little bit of FOMO, actually, just seeing all of the connections with people that are helping neighbors and being friends and supporting each other's businesses over in Twin Falls. I think you've got something super special. And I want to dive into that. But first of all, because this is Idaho Real Estate Investor Show, Senate, you're not here as an event, you're here as an event coordinator, but you're here as a fellow investor. Can you share with our audience a little bit about what kind of investing you do?
Yeah, so I currently work on syndications and fund of funds. What I like to say is that I help people just like you and me access investments typically reserved to the ultra wealthy. And what that means is that I go out and I find the best possible investments that I can, and I source those through deal partners and partners all over the country to give asymmetric returns to investors. Rather than just having my own deals, which I do my own deals as well, but I have access to, say, 6 or 7 deals a year that are really going to outshine any other deal that most investors are going to see normally.
Oh, that's awesome. I know I can see a future show coming about this where we can really unpack this. And there's so much to learn about syndication, multifamily investing, but we're going to move on. But before we do, I have one question. If you were starting over right now, obviously you've helped a lot of investors build wealth through multifamily deals, but looking back, what's one piece of advice you wish you would have known when you were starting out?
I've been asked that question a few times, and what I like to say is, first is read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's first advice I would give to anybody. But more specifically to your question, I believe chapter 2 in that book is begin with the end in mind. And what I mean by that and how it relates to your question is, I would envision what your business is going to look like 5 or 10 years from now. And do your best to really think through what it's going to look like 5 or 10 years from now. And just start there, right? If you're going to have an evolution and you're going to evolve and you're going to do this and then add something else and then add something else and change directions in 2 or 3 years, why not just start with what you're going to go into?
Love that. Hey, Idaho investors, here's a stat that might surprise you. Over 70% of successful real estate investors say their best deals didn't come from the MLS or from a cold online lead. They came through their network. So if you're serious about growing your portfolio, it's time to get in the right room. Join Idaho REI, the Idaho Real Estate Investor Network, an affiliate of the National REIA. We're here to inspire, connect, and equip you to build real wealth through real estate. Success doesn't happen in isolation. Get in the room where it's happening. Visit IdahoREI.com and join us today.
So I have an answer to that as well. If Senate was starting over today, right now, I would recommend that he got a mentor earlier.
Mhm. That's really good advice. I don't want to monopolize this about my journey, but I started in the single family space a long time ago, 2009. And I did everything from fix and flips to burrs and some wholesales and some weird things like that. And I was trying to figure it all out on my own. And then when I transitioned into multifamily in 2019, I started with a mentor. And my rate of success was a lot faster in multifamily. And I relate that directly to the mentors that I had. To Kelly's point, if I would have had a mentor in 2009 when I first started in single family, I'd be miles ahead of where I am today.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Me too. I was going alone for so long, and that's how part of Idaho REIN came about. For me, wanting to surround myself with others and create that environment, because when you're just, yeah, it's great if you're getting advice from books and so forth, but you've got to lay out a plan specific to what you and your personal goals are and how you're going to get there and know your specific geographic areas and all that good stuff. Totally concur. I love that. Again, that's another thing we're totally aligned on. And Cari, you are an amazing event coordinator in your own right. And I have so much respect as a former coordinator of myself. I was a corporate event coordinator, and you do weddings, which is like so much more emotionally invested and so forth. But not only that, we want to talk for a few minutes about the Idaho Summit. So, if you're listening here and you haven't been familiar with or you have not attended something called the Idaho Summit, I'm challenge you to come the next year, 2026 in Twin Falls, Idaho. I've been for the last 2 years, and it's just a phenomenal high caliber event. It's something that I would expect to fly to San Francisco for or some big city. The quality of the speakers and the event itself is just spectacular. But let's go back. I know this is your 5th year doing the Idaho Summit. You two are the founders of it. How did the Idaho Summit as a conference even come about?
Full transparency, we actually travel the country to go to personal and professional development conferences literally for fun. And Senate for a few years was saying, man, we need to do something like this in our area. And I had imposter syndrome. No, I couldn't do that. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. And then one year he said, listen, if you don't do this, I'm going to hire someone else to do it. And so it really lit that fire.
Wow.
And it was perfect timing because we were just coming out of the lockdowns of the pandemic and life was getting back to normal. And in our community, we came together in a beautiful way where everyone was taking care of each other. There was very little businesses lost. We even did front porch baskets where you would just randomly put baskets of toilet paper and cleaning supplies and cookies on someone's front porch and run off like a ding dong ditch. And the leaders in the community were really holding it together, making sure employees weren't losing their positions. So I saw this togetherness. But then I saw a lot of people feeling internally alone. We were falling apart individually while coming together as a community. And so we wanted to offer something to fill those cups back up. So we launched the Idaho Summit the first year in a matter of just a few months. And it was thrown together fast, but it was so spectacular and we got so much good feedback. We decided, let's just do it another year. And then we did it another year. And then we did another year. And we're just going to keep going. And every year gets better and better. I call it a personal and professional development conference because you can't really grow professionally if you're stagnant personally. So we like to offer both aspects of it, something motivating, a little inspiring, but also some of the meat and potatoes that you can take back to your company or your business, whether you be the CEO of a large company or just an entrepreneur, and put actionable steps into your success.
I love that. And as someone for feedback, as someone that was an attendee at the event the last couple of years, particularly this year, there was something so special about it that I know for me, I've been going fast and furiously, and we have been growing and planning, going from Boise REIN to Idaho REIN, planning upcoming events here locally and all of the things. And I am one of those ones that still self-manages 20-something doors, Senate, and sometimes wondering, what the heck are we doing with this and all of the things? And I had so much going on last week. And just to be able to take one day and take my voicemail and say, I'm at a conference all day, I will return calls tomorrow, and just sit in that seat and let my cup get filled. Thank you for that. That was a gift to me. And I know it was a gift for everybody in attendance. I almost get emotional, but I could just feel the heart of all of the work that you put into it, but also all of the heart of the speakers that were hand curated and hand picked to bring those messages, and the way that there was no overt selling from stage, there was no bravado, and the authenticity was huge. So kudos to that. What were a couple of highlights from you for you? This is your 5th year you put on. Any things that stand out, moments from last week in the Idaho Summit?
Yes. First off, Jen Buck. She's been speaking for 20 plus years. And
100%.
amazing.
So good.
Yeah, she pulled me aside and gave me such an incredible compliment. She said that she'd never been treated with so much hospitality, and she'd never seen something so seamless and smooth. And so for us in our little town in Idaho to be able to offer that to the speakers, that the event can't happen without them. They're the ones pouring into my community. I want to pour into them as well. So we really, really try to treat our speakers really well and show our appreciation. I'm able to watch a lot of the conference as well, so I gained so much. But there was one
I saw y'all in the front row.
Yeah. There was one woman that came up to me and said that first speaker, Bryce Barfus, he had us send a text to somebody who was important to us that had mentored us in our lives. And that someone came up to me and said that she had reconnected with an old friend and mentor, that their relationship had dissipated over the years. They weren't close, they hadn't spoken in years. And she just was brave for 20 seconds and sent that text. And that other person said, This couldn't have been better timing. I can't tell you how much I needed that moment. And they plan on reconnecting and building the relationship back up. So for me, a lot of it is hearing those kind of stories, is what the summit has done. Different speakers impact just one person. And I heard a lot of those stories, but this woman that came in from Wyoming, she drove a really long way to get to us. She was probably the furthest out, but it was just really amazing for people to take advantage of something so high class and world class in this area without getting on a plane, getting a hotel, paying employees overtime and food and all that other stuff that you have to do. It's right here. It's
Right.
away from work. It's just one day.
A general theme that I heard throughout the day from all the speakers and certainly the attendees, but it was the theme of community,
Yeah.
and which is powerful. And I think maybe that's part of the reason it resonated with me so much as well, because we both share a passion for building our Idaho community, right?
Yeah.
And really building it up, because there's just something so special and so unique about your location, period. Because so many times you're in conferences, I'm sure since you've traveled around to so many conferences too, and you'll be in Miami, Florida, and they'll be at a conference and someone makes fun of Idaho or thinks it's Iowa. And it's not, it's just,
Oh,
they
you have a potato?
exactly. They have no clue. And just to have something so special, plus the Boise was showing off that day. It was beautiful, and overlooking the river there with your happy hour afterwards, that beautiful location, and just, oh, Idaho's got so much to give. And I love that you're giving back to it through the Idaho Summit. Senate, was there anything that stood out to you in particular?
I've got a couple of more stories very similar to the ones that Cari just talked about. Our friend Max had someone come up to him after the conference and say he needed 5 minutes of his time to talk about trust. And this was one of the things that Max really talked about, was trust in his talk. And they sat down and they ended up talking for a very long time, 15 or 20 minutes, just the two of them, right? So again, back to Cari's point, an individual was touched. And this conversation, this 20-minute conversation, is going to completely change the direction of this person's life. And I'm so excited to hear the follow-up from it. They're going to end up changing careers and make, again, a complete pivot, like almost 180-degree pivot in their life because of the conversation that they had with one of our speakers. And
That's amazing.
we continue to rack up stories like this over and over and over again. And it's really the fuel behind my fire of why we end up doing this all the time, is to pour into those individuals. It's great to have all of the people be touched and get their cups filled up, but it fills my cup to hear these individual stories. Also, very similar conversation I had with one of the vendors. And the vendors, we have marketing partners, sponsors type of things, and a lot of them get to vendor booths where they can actually talk to all the attendees about it. And this one vendor ended up booking, I think, 5 or 6 clients the day of that event.
Without selling from stage.
Right. No selling from stage, just giving. And they
awesome.
got rewarded as well. So I'm really excited for it to help their business and all the things they're going to be able to do to help with these new customers.
Oh, that's great. I loved it. I had a chance to go to most of the booths and talk to people and support, and grabbed a Made for More t-shirt. And that was so much fun. The vendors, that just, again, the hearts all around are cool. So kudos to you guys and the mission behind it, which is so much bigger than anything. I know that these events are not huge going into your pocketbook or money makers. They are really a passion project and a labor of love. And it just was oozing with that. So you guys, if you're listening, obviously you're listening if you're hearing me right now, but you need to be at this Idaho Summit next year. Hey, Idaho friends, if you're busy like me, you're always on the lookout for trusted professionals that can help you with your business, home, and investment needs. Whether it's a trusted lender, property manager, or a service provider that you're going to have come into your home or work on your investment property, there's always a need out there, and we want you to have great and trusted resources at the ready. In response to this, Idaho REI has developed an exclusive vendor directory chock full of businesses that are ready to help our community. Head on over to IdahoREI.com, grab your free copy today, and don't forget, let them know that Idaho REI sent you. However, a lot of you that are listening are also here because you're real estate investors. And so the second reason I wanted to have Cari and Senate on the show today is because we are putting together something very special, equally as special in a very different way, that's going to be coming to Boise. So let's unpack that. Without further ado, Cari and Senate, what do we have going on this fall?
So we are going to launch a new summit up in Boise, and it's called Idaho REICon, REICon. And we're going to bring the heart and soul of the summit to real estate investors and make it applicable to their lives. So on October 10th in Boise, you need to pay attention to that's coming up. And again, get your cup filled and learn from other people who've done it, and some who've done it wrong and learned, and those who've just done it right. And it's going to fill everybody's, just the knowledge and that why is going to come back to them. And it's really true to Senate's heart, being so involved in real estate. Where I'm not in the real estate realm, my passion really is to bring people together who are passionate about something. And so I'm really excited to bring real estate investors and people who touch the real estate realm together into one big room and watch what happens.
Oh, I cannot wait. It brings me back. First of all, I'll tell y'all how we connected and got together. I was an attendee at the Idaho Summit last year and saw Cari and Senate from afar and saw the quality of the events that they put on. I've had it in my heart to have a conference here, a statewide conference here, for several years, never figured out any way to have bandwidth in which to do. And I know that this is something that needs to be built by an entire community, not one person. And it's been on my docket, it's been on my heart, but we've been working very diligently to grow what was Boise REIN. Now we are Idaho REIN, and grow in that capacity and put on quality events all the time here in Boise. But to put something together like this takes a village. And so we connected last year and started talking about it loosely, and then had more conversations as we rounded the beginning of this year. And it has come together, and it is so exciting. And I'm very thrilled to be having Idaho REI co-host this along with you two and bringing something very unique that's never been to Idaho. And if people think that they've seen an Idaho real estate investing conference because they've seen someone come in town and sell a course for a weekend, this is not that. And I just want to let everyone know, and that's part of why I wanted to unpack the Idaho Summit a little bit and the heart behind it. This is not a pitch fest. This is true investors that are out here in the trenches, many of them from Idaho, that are, as Idaho investors, sharing their open book and their heart with other Idaho investors. And I think we're going to pack more into that one full day. It's going to be incredible. So they might be drinking from the fire hose a little bit, but they're going to take those little nuggets. And all it takes is one thing, right? I remember my whole trajectory of my life was changed at a BP summit, the first one they ever had, kind of like we're having the first one this year. 2012, I was sitting in Denver, one of 300 people in a room, and realized I was the only person from Idaho in that room. And something clicked for me that we needed to bring something to Idaho, and I needed to serve Idaho investors. And I don't remember many of the other breakouts that day. I don't remember many of those other of the speakers, other than the passion that the founder for Bigger Pockets had on that day for growing that community. But all it takes is one thing, right? One key sentence, like you mentioned, like with Max and someone that resonated with him. And it is so worth it to come for 8 hours, even if you get 5 minutes of nugget that could change your life. Can't wait.
I totally agree with everything you just said. The small moments that happen at conferences like this will absolutely change your life if you go into it with an open mind and an open heart, and then take action on the emotions that you feel. The power of a decision comes when you take immediate action and make those changes. And they'll always come in the high energy environments, the high emotional environments that you can't get in any places other than conferences like this.
Right. All right.
I'm not surprised at all to hear that you made that change in the middle of a conference.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely huge. And this isn't, I want to be very clear too, it's not just for folks from the Treasure Valley. We're going to have lots of people from Twin Falls there, Pocatello, Idaho Falls, North Idaho. We want from all the state. I know for myself, I invest across the state, and it's really important to have that representation. We already have some great speakers lined up from North Idaho. We'll be dropping all those announcements, right? But what's going on right now? Can people go ahead and, by the time of this podcast, we're in May here. Can we get tickets to the event?
Yeah, what's really exciting is we actually have early bird tickets on sale right now. Those people who are serious and want to take action quickly, we want to see them take action quickly. So we have the early bird tickets on sale until mid-July. So it is, you got to move fast and make that decision and set October 10th aside, which plenty of time to plan ahead. And it's really incredible to see. So you can go to idahorecon.com. I'm sure you'll share that with your audience, but it's just idahorecon.com. You can get your early bird tickets now. It is the lowest price they're ever going to be. They're just going to go up as we get closer to the event. So I highly implore you, if you want to be in the room with change makers, get your tickets now and just commit to the day.
It's such a bargain, less than $200 a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a full day, that is pretty unheard of, especially including everything that you're including with that ticket. Huge value.
Food.
And then, of course, I know that we're interviewing sponsors right now.
Yes.
And those that want to be involved businesses, they definitely should reach out to you as well, right? To get that sponsor lineup. I love hearing your success stories from the Idaho Summit on businesses that sponsors were able to connect with. And your sponsors are great. Several of them have followed up with me, and I've made some connections, and it's just powerful how quickly, even in one day, how you can get to know people.
Mhm.
If we were to put it like in one sentence or two. Who is this really created for? The
You know,
conference.
John, I think you actually said it best, right? That this conference is put on for Idaho investors by Idaho investors. I absolutely loved it when you said that. And so to me, anyone who is in Idaho that invests in real estate
Or it's learning.
or is learning, whether they invest in real estate in Idaho, are they physically buying real estate in Idaho? Yes, they should attend. Do they live in Idaho and invest outside of Idaho? Yes, they should attend. Right? This is for anyone who is currently investing in real estate, any fathom thereof, or wants to learn how to do it. So really what the goal of this is to help educate and spark those ideas for people to grow their real estate investing career. And as you mentioned a couple of times, right, this is not a pitch fest. You're not going to have somebody up on stage saying, hey, buy my $100,000 course or even $10,000 course, right? We're not going to do that, right? We're just there to serve and educate and provide as much value as possible to the attendees and the sponsors that we have.
And I love that because I really have the heart of collaboration over competition. And so if we're all helping each other be successful, first of all, we're all going to be more successful, but we're also going to help each other raise the credibility. People make mistakes, and no one really means to make mistakes. So if we can learn something from somebody who is, like I said, either made that mistake or avoided that mistake, it's going to improve everybody's ability to do things right. And we want things done right, because you hear stories of someone whose deal's gone bad for this reason or that reason. And we really want to educate people on how to do things right and morally and legally, and just really move forward ethically in real estate investing so that we all have a better reputation.
Amen. Yeah, that's a huge, I couldn't agree more. When we have that reputation, or you'll hear like snide comments about investors ruining communities and all of these lies things, I think you're going to find anyone that walks in that room is going to find the antithesis of that. We've got so many examples of people I know that are already lined up to speak that are the antithesis of that. And they're all about creating housing opportunities, creating opportunities for long-term wealth, not a short-term buck, and operating in an environmentally friendly way, all kinds of things that I think anyone would be hard to argue that they're out from a greedy standpoint. We've got, again, I can't wait to just unveil the speaker lineup as we go. And you can see some of the speakers if you head on over to IdahoREI.com and take a look. But as we unveil them too, we're excited to have some of them on the show. I've got some of them lined up that'll be on here on the show over the course of the summer, and we'll just keep getting y'all excited. But why wait for that? Go ahead and hop on over and grab your early bird ticket. You can say you were one of the first to grab the tickets. Get it over with now. Mark your calendar. We know life gets in the way, and you want to put these big rocks in your life first and work around them. So Friday, October 10th, you know where you're going to be. You're going to be at Boise Center on the Grove in Boise, Idaho. We're working on getting all the additional details out, but we know that we want to see you there. And if you're wanting to grow, invest, and surround yourself with the right people, the Idaho REICon is where you want to be. So we're going to see them all there, aren't we, guys?
Yes.
We are. And Jonna, I do, before we go so much further, I do want to say thank you. You are a master connector. You really have brought so much to the table on making sure that we do have the right people in that room. And you've done introductions, and you really have been such a catalyst in making this happen. So I really appreciate you for that little nudge to get something like this going and connecting us with the right people to have in those rooms to be the best event we can possibly have.
Oh, guys, thank you. Thank you, Cari, so much. I appreciate that. And I never viewed myself as a master connector. It's so funny, but it has something that has fallen into my lap the last few years. And it's something that I am falling in love with, like making the connections. And there are just so many darn cool people in this state. I'm on a mission to get them connected. And we know that's the way the business grows and that's the way life grows. But I'm not just about business, but it's about living life with people that you want to be living with. And I felt that leaving the summit. I'm like, these are my people, because everyone had their heart in the right place. I went to one of Sean's comedy shows this weekend and sat there and just like, Sean Hancock was a MC for the Idaho Summit. If you don't know Sean, people listening need to get to know him. But it just was another thread of the type of people that I am choosing intentionally to surround myself with in the next few years. And just so grateful that we've been brought together. So thank you. Is there anything else you want to share before we sign off and have people hop over and get our tickets?
I do have one thing. You did mention that we are interviewing sponsors. Of course, events like this can't happen without sponsors, but I really do interview them. We want the right people in the room. We're very particular about who we have being aligned with us. We want to make sure it's the right kind of alignment with the right heart and they're really go-givers. So if sponsorship is something you're interested in, I also recommend just throwing out an email and seeing if we can work together to be a good fit for this community and what we want to accomplish.
Okay, awesome. Is that contact information in the website?
It is.
We'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, y'all. I know we have a planning meeting in a little bit. We've got a whole committee for everyone. Just so you know, we are working hard on this all year long to make it the best event possible. So we're counting on you to be there and hope everyone has an amazing day. Go and grow, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, Jonna. Appreciate it.
Well, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining me here at the Idaho Real Estate Investors Show. I hope you're leaving with new insights and inspiration to help you truly grow wealth through real estate. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with those that can benefit from it. Go and grow, and I'll catch you on the next episode.